Hello everyone, Jason Warren with DT Met, and I've got an update on the winter storm that's expected to evolve across the Great Lakes and portions of the Midwest and Ohio Valley during the next 24 to 48 hours. Right now we have our strong Arctic cold front moving through portions of the Midwest and into the western Great Lakes, and snow is occurring along this front. We also have an area of snow occurring over portions of the Mid-Atlantic area, especially across the higher terrain, where some cold air has gotten trapped along the east slopes of the mountains. This will likely mix out as warmer air from the south spreads northward, and this snow will likely change to rain, but there could be some accumulation ahead of the changeover to rain. Behind the cold front, we're seeing temperatures across portions of the central and northern plains back into the northern Rockies of 10 to 20 below zero, with wind chills of 30 to 40 and even 50 below zero at times. And this cold air will rapidly spread eastward through the Great Lakes, Midwest, and into the Ohio Valley this evening and into tonight, and then into the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast through the day on Friday. Here are the current temperatures across the lower 48, showing very cold temperatures out over the northern Rockies and extending down into the northern plains, where you can clearly see our Arctic cold front currently moving through Wisconsin, southeastern Iowa, Missouri, and down into Oklahoma and North Texas. These areas that are shown up here in purple are all areas that are below zero. 24-hour temperature change across the country shows that temperatures have fallen by 50 to 60 degrees across portions of the central Rockies and into the high plains of Colorado, with temperatures falling by 30 to 40 degrees across portions of the central and southern plains. And this air will continue to spread south and east as we head through the rest of today and into tonight. We currently have blizzard warnings in effect from the northern plains into the Great Lakes, including off the east end of Lake Erie, where we have a blizzard warning in effect near the Buffalo area. We have winter storm warnings in effect for much of the Midwest into the northern Ohio Valley and Great Lakes. Wind chill warnings cover a vast portion of the United States, from the northern Rockies all the way into the southern plains and then east into the deep south and portions of the Mid-Atlantic. Here's the high-resolution model simulation for this system. Here we have the Arctic cold front coming through the Midwest at this time, with extremely cold air building in behind the system across the northern plains and northern Rockies. We also have some front-end snow across portions of the Appalachians and northern Mid-Atlantic this morning, but this will likely change to rain or a mix of rain and snow as milder air pushes northward up the eastern seaboard ahead of the Arctic front. As we head through the afternoon, the system will intensify with a sharp Arctic cold front moving through the Midwest and Great Lakes, all the way down into portions of the lower Mississippi Valley, with heavy rain showers along and just ahead of the front, but quickly changing to a band of snow squalls in the wake of the front, accompanied by strong gusty winds and rapidly falling temperatures. Meanwhile, there will be an area of rain and mixed precipitation moving northeastward through the northern Mid-Atlantic into New England, but this will be quickly exiting off to the northeast ahead of the approaching cold front. Overnight tonight, that band of snow squalls will continue eastward through the Ohio Valley and into the Mid-Atlantic area, with snow rotating back into portions of the northern and central Great Lakes, with blizzard conditions expected to develop as strong winds develop overnight across this region. As the cold air builds in across this area as well and temperatures plummet, the snow ratios will rapidly increase and the snow will become very dry and powdery and will be easily blown around by the strong winds. And this will create very hazardous driving conditions all across the northern and central Great Lakes down into portions of the Ohio Valley overnight. As the snow squalls push eastward, they could be accompanied by strong gusty winds in excess of 50 miles per hour, along with some thunder and lightning. The surface low-pressure system will rapidly deepen over the eastern Great Lakes by tomorrow morning, with snow wrapping around it through the Great Lakes and into the upper Ohio Valley and northern Mid-Atlantic, with rain showers continuing across portions of New England ahead of the Arctic front, which will just be moving through New York City by late morning tomorrow. The system will continue to wind up as we head through the afternoon tomorrow and into tomorrow evening, with bands of heavy snow continuing around the Great Lakes, along with strong winds and blowing snow, and very cold temperatures spreading throughout much of the central and eastern United States in the wake of the Arctic front. The greatest concern for strong and damaging winds will be across portions of the lower Great Lakes later Friday into Friday night, as a strong jet streak rotates around the south side of the developing low pressure system and moves through portions of lower Michigan, Indiana, northern Ohio, and eventually into northwest Pennsylvania and western New York. You can see that here on this display with some of the stronger winds develop as we head through Friday morning. Here across portions of the lower Great Lakes and extending eastward into the northern mid-Atlantic. And these winds will intensify Friday afternoon into Friday evening, with wind gusts in excess of 65 miles per hour possible from northern Indiana across northern Ohio and into southeastern Michigan, and eventually up Lake Erie into portions of western New York and even into portions of northwestern Pennsylvania. The winds will continue through the afternoon and into the evening hours as that strong jet stream moves across the region. These winds will help to create very cold wind chills of -20 to -30 across the region, and also produce significant blowing and drifting snow, not only of the snow that's on the ground, but any snow that's falling as well. The snowfall forecast remains about the same from our previous forecast, with the highest amounts still expected here across the northern peninsula or the upper peninsula of Michigan, as well as across the western portions of the lower peninsula down possibly into far northern Indiana as well. There will also be an area of heavy snow off the east end of Lake Erie, extending into the Buffalo area, and off the east end of Lake Ontario that could affect the Watertown area, as well as the Tug Hill Plateau. Even in areas further south which see lighter amounts of snow, these areas will still see considerable blowing and drifting of any snow that does fall and happens to be on the ground when the strong winds and the very cold temperatures arrive. The impacts from this system remain virtually unchanged from our previous video. We're still expecting very cold temperatures across a large portion of the central and eastern U.S., with dangerously cold wind chills expected, possibly as low as -30 or so, across many areas of the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and Midwest. A strong wind gust could cause power outages, especially late tonight through the day on Friday and into Friday night, and especially across the parts of southern Michigan, northern Indiana, and Ohio, and then up across far northwestern Pennsylvania and into western New York. Some areas could see wind gusts of 65 miles per hour or greater. Blowing and drifting snow will likely cause blizzard conditions even outside of the areas that see the heaviest snowfall, and this is going to create significant travel problems. Blowing and drifting snow could remain a concern all the way into Christmas Day. The heaviest snowfall is still expected to occur across the upper peninsula of Michigan and the western portions of the lower peninsula, where snowfall amounts of 1 to 2 feet could occur. We're also expecting heavy snow in the wake of the system off the east end of Lake Erie and the east end of Lake Ontario, and some locations could see an excess of 2 feet of snow from the lake effect snow that follows the system. We will continue to post updates as this system unfolds and moves across the region. We will also be posting a live video later on with live conditions across the region. So be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when we post new videos.